Hello, today I'd like to read one of my favorite poems and answer the question, what is American poetry? The poem I chose was Richard Cory by Robertson. The poem goes like this. Whenever Richard Cory went downtown, we people on the pavement looked at him. He was a gentleman from soul to crown, clean favor, and imperially slim. He was always quietly arrayed, and he was always human when he talked. But still he fluttered pulses when he said, "Good morning," and he glittered when he walked. And he was rich, yes, richer than a king, and admirably schooled in every grace. In fine, we thought he was everything to make us wish that we were in his place. So on we worked, and waited for the light, and went without the meat, and cursed the bread. And Richard Cory, one calm summer night, went home and put a bullet through his head. Now, this poem is very calm and almost innocent in the beginning, and then it has a very disturbing revelation at the end. The reason why I like this poem so much is because of the very twist that happens at the end. Richard Cory seems like a near perfect guy who has the life that almost everybody wants. However, it wasn't the life that he wanted. So, when I read this poem, I see that everybody is looking at him and everybody's talking about him, and the poem is just mainly about what is going on around him. The poem never gets into Richard Cory's personality. The poem never talks about Richard Cory's mental state. The poem doesn't actually have a lot of information about who Richard Cory actually is. So, when I think about American poetry, I think about Richard Cory. Richard Cory has everybody's attention. Just like some poems in American poetry, they grasp everybody's attention, but nobody truly knows the poem. The poem is more than just what's on the outside. The poem is more than just the words you read. The poem has a hidden meaning and almost a life in itself. So, when I'm reading this poem, I see the surface. But when I dig a little deeper, I see Richard Cory and a man who is struggling. Now that's my interpretation of it, but the beauty behind this poem is that everybody will have their own unique interpretation. Some people will relate to Richard Cory differently. Some people will relate to Richard Cory just like the poem lays it out. Richard Cory is really just a person that you can fill in. You can fill in anybody's name for Richard Cory. This poem isn't about being a celebrity. This poem isn't about the outside and what everybody sees. The poem is about what everybody doesn't see, and that's what I love about this poem the most. Within poetry, within American poetry, I believe that poems have a hidden meaning, and you can't understand it just reading the poem once. You have to read it multiple times. You have to look at each individual lines, and you have to ask yourself, what does this mean? When I look at Richard Cory, I think, what is he feeling? What's his emotions? Why does he do the thing he does in the end of the poem? And that's how I think we should read poetry. I think we should look at each line and each word, and we should ask ourselves those questions. What does this word mean? Why is this word here? So, when I think of American poetry, I think about the hidden message that is behind each individual word.